All right, what's going on, guys? Today I got Bridger Pennington here with us. So Bridger, just to give you some context, is the co-founder of Fun Launch. And at this point, Fun Launch has done about $35 million in sales in the last, is it 4.5 years or getting close to five?
5.5, yeah, right,
Yeah.
right around 5.5 years.
Yeah,
Yep.
which is absolutely insane for this industry. And then also he's the co-founder of Fun Launch Partners as well as Ugly Unicorn Crypto Fund, which between those two funds you have around $50 million AUM, I'd say.
Yeah, we've raised around 50 million, which is pretty cool. So
Nice.
we can talk about all that too.
Yeah.
Yep.
So today we're talking about pitching and one-to-many selling. So based on Fun Launch and his two investment funds, Bridger has a lot of experience when it comes to pitching people and selling. So it's gonna be a pretty fun conversation.
I don't know about that, but we'll try. I've done a few. I've done a few here.
A few under the
So,
belt. Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of fun.
I love it. Awesome. Well, the first thing I want to ask, I know it's kind of like an open-ended question, but when it comes to one-to-many selling, do you have a general philosophy or framework that you follow each time when you're doing a different pitch or a different form of one-to-many selling?
Yes, I did not at the beginning. I tried to read tons of books and everything. Our background story, you know this. We started doing weekly webinars. We did 38 weeks in a row of weekly webinars selling Fun Launch stuff. On a webinar, we'd promote Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We'd sell Thursday, and then follow up Friday, Saturday, Sunday, close the offer, and then restart Monday. We did the Russell Brunson, expert secrets model, which was phenomenal. Like, it taught me so much, but I didn't have a great cadence. So I started going to events. I'd watch a lot of speakers, and I finally learned from a couple different incredible people that sold. They all had this one framework. Now, they called it different things, but they all use the same way of approaching information dump on an audience, like how they would approach it. And the vernacular that worked best for me was vehicle, internal, external. Now, some people call it croc brain, midbrain, neurocortex, but they're all saying the same thing. Okay. So we can use my iPad, right? We're here. We're signed in. This is what it kind of looks like. So vehicle, internal, external. I don't know if anybody can see this, but vehicle, internal, external. This is the framework that's like changed how I approach it. This is how we sell investors. When I'm selling, we have $1 million investors that come in. It's vehicle, internal, external. When I'm selling on stage, we did an event together, like 2,000 people, Miami, Orlando, Las Vegas, same thing. Like day 1, vehicle, day 2, internal, day 3, external, like email copyright, vehicle, internal, external. We followed this whole process. So this helped me organize my thoughts like crazy. So I'll explain what I mean by these three. All right. So vehicle, what does that mean? By vehicle, what I mean is, the question we're answering is, does this work? Like, in general, we are selling a lot of times, like, come and launch an investment fund. We're going to help teach you how to do this, join our program, whatever the thing is. Do investment funds work in general? Like, generally speaking. So what we show is, hey, look on Wall Street, these huge titans of industry, the Forbes 100 list, the number one category of billionaires is fund management, like the vehicle. This vehicle works. This vehicle made Ken Griffin $4.5 billion last year. He makes $1 billion per quarter doing this. The wealthiest people on earth are doing this vehicle. Like, this is a well worth vehicle to be involved in. This for you, for somebody else, this could be like real estate works in general, or building a click funnel, like a funnel works, like online marketing works in general. Okay. The next question that people have then in their brain, okay, Bridger, I get it works. I get it works for guys like you. I get it works in your situation, your story. Like, okay, yeah, it could work for you. But the next question is, does it work for me? Which would be internal, which is a different question. Does it work in my situation? Does that make sense? Like, that kind of nuance? So, okay, Bridger, I get funds work for you, but could it work for someone like me who, with my age or demographic or skin color or background or whatever, could it work for me? And so in that section, we're sharing a lot of testimonials. Here's Susan. It worked for Susan. Here's Joe. This is how it worked for Joe. This is how it worked here. And what I'm trying to do in someone's brain is, if I can solve that question of, yeah, this works. And you know what? This could work for us. Like, with my business or what I'm doing, man, this could work for me. This new thing that they're talking about on stage, investment funds, like launching a private equity fund. Yeah, that works. And you know what? This could work for us. We could go buy our competitors' businesses right now. We could go buy our downstream supply chain. Dang, that would be sweet. And then the final question on this is external. Vehicle, internal, external. External is, okay, how much time does it take? How much money does it take? How much knowledge do I need? These are external, false beliefs that someone would have. Now, these are generally pretty small. Let me give you a few examples if this makes sense. If I'm doing a webinar and I'm training, the old thing was 3 secrets. That's kind of outdated now, but like 3 secrets. Well, guess what? Secret number 1 is all around vehicle. Secret number 2 is all around internal, and secret number 3 is all around external. Generally speaking, you're spending majority, I would say 80% of your time on vehicle and internal, and maybe 15 to 20% on time, money, knowledge. What's also interesting about this is, you know, if you've ever, I talk to my sales guys all the time about this. If someone is like, oh, this is too expensive for me, you know, it's a common objection someone comes up with. Hey, it's an external objection. This is too much money. So right here, what I would say, what I always respond with, no worries. It is a lot of money. Real quick though, before we dive into how much money it costs, real quick, do you believe like I'll use the example of funds as we sell. Do you believe like funds work in general? Like in generally speaking, like investment funds work? Yes. Okay. Do you believe it could work for you in your situation? Well, I don't know. Well, let's talk about that. Money does not matter if you're not sold internally. And let me give you the opposite. If someone is sold on the vehicle, yes, this works. Yes, this could work for me. I can launch a fund and money, it doesn't matter. How much money it is, I don't care. I got to pay because this thing is going to work for me. It's going to crush, right? How much time? Okay, I can devote the time. External problems. If you've ever had a lay down sale, someone that's like, oh man, they just show up and they're ready to buy. It's because they are sold on vehicle and they are sold on internal. And external problems, time, money, knowledge, whatever the things are, just kind of follow. Yeah, they want to get answered that question, but like it's not a big deal to them. The opposite is true. If someone has, you know, a big money objection, generally speaking, they have, you know, they are not sold internally and they are not sold in a vehicle. Is this making sense?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And we, this is actually a pretty core foundation of the program as well.
Cool.
It's called Event Horizon.
Yeah.
And, you know, you hinted at it, but we've done, you know, a ton of in-person and virtual events, and like even down to the content, like the speakers you have, the sessions, the breakouts, all that stuff is based on vehicle, internal, external, like dissolving those objections. Ideally before the pitch, so it's like more seamless, but I know that you're also, you know, really good at doing it during the pitch as well. You mentioned, I mean, you guys,
let me double click on that. Yeah. The beginning of our offer. Like if we do an offer stack, the top, there's 10 things. The top 3 things are vehicle. The next 3 things are internal. The final things are external and or reasons to act now. Right. Anyways, that's how we structure a pitch.
Yeah, I love that. There's actually a question I had in here too. So
yeah,
that's a little tease.
Yeah. If you look at I can pull up slides in a minute if we want. We look at our value stack. Now it's not always perfect, but generally speaking, it's vehicle, internal, external.
Yeah, I love it. You started doing weekly webinars. Was it 2020? Is that when you guys launched?
Yeah. So 2019, we did like a test course launch, which was pretty interesting. This might be useful for your audience. I don't know. Yeah. We had this idea of teaching people online about funds. And we thought, well, I don't know, let's test this thing out. And we had done previous businesses where you go, you build the whole product and then you launch it and you hope people buy. And we were like, we're not doing that. We had some people tell us like, don't do that. We're like, we set a timeline and a budget. We had 3 weeks, $500. And we said, we're going to see if people would even buy a course or something like this in this universe. So all we built out was we built about 16 ads on my phone. We just filmed them selfie style. Hey, like I'm doing X, Y, and Z. You know, we just did, they were the dumbest ads you've ever seen, but we just said, hey, let's try them. We tried different variations. We then built 2 versions of a landing page that were pitching a webinar. At the time, webinars were really hot. So it was an ad, hey, come to a free training. They'd come to a landing page, opt in for the free training. The next page, we didn't even have a free training built. The next page was, sorry, the free training isn't live yet, but hey, we have this program. It's $47 on teaching about funds. And this is what's included. It had a little sales page with a checkout page. And we just wanted to see how many people would click on an ad, how many people would opt in, what's our opt-in rate, and then how many people would actually buy something. Maybe, we don't know. And then we had an upsell too, like book a one-on-one call with Bridger if you wanted to for like a couple $100. And so, and again, we're brand new, like in college doing this. We're like, let's just see. We spent the $500. Our first weekend, we turned that $500 into about $1,800 our first weekend, which we were like blown away. We got amazing clicks. Opt-ins worked. We were testing variations. We're like, case people like this. And once they bought, we didn't have the course built out either. So they would buy $47 and then we'd send them we'd say, hey, the course actually isn't built yet. So we'll just refund you. Yeah. Like we were just transparent. At that point, we're like, hey,
just get proof of concept.
Yes. We were here. We just wanted to see if people would like this. We're happy to refund you. We'll send you a refund right now. But we just wanted to know if you would buy this thing, or you can stick around and we're going to build this out over the next few weeks or months. And the first week or two, we sold, 50 people on this $47 offer. And of the 53 refunded, the other 47 were like, no, I'll stick around. And then a couple took one-on-one calls. And so I was talking to people one-on-one and like helping them through like this. And we're like, man, people like this.
Yeah.
And it gave us so much proof of concept. And then we built so we said, what were you guys expecting? What did you want? All that, what's hard? And we started to get feedback. So we built a product that our clients were asking for. And we'd started from zero, no social media, no nothing, like literally zero. The next month we did $80,000 in sales. Now we spent $80,000 to get that. We literally broke even. It was like $79,000 to $80,000 in sales, like almost a perfect break-even funnel. But we gained about 1,000 clients, which was crazy. So now we had 1,000 people, and we had built this course. We launched it inside of our $47 course, testing it out and seeing what was good and bad. And so that gave us an audience, a list now to talk to get feedback from, to build more videos for, to build more resources, more tools. This is 2019, then going to 2020. This is, we were like, hey, let's now launch the full out course we wanted to do. So we started doing stuff like this. We started interviewing people, we built this big masterclass course. And we really, cause we were like, we have traction here. Let's really, and it brought me and my partner, Mason, we were like, okay, let's go all in on this thing, which is such an interesting thing about business, by the way. Everyone talks business. It's once you get dollars in the door, it's like, oh shoot, everyone starts to focus. It's like, okay, we got to make this thing work now.
Yeah.
And so that's how me and Mason, where we focus, we're like, we're going to make this thing work. A month or two later, we had built out a pretty actually phenomenal course. We rented out studios and stuff, made a very, very nice looking course, kind of like this. Like we made a very nice studio. We interviewed a lot of people. We pulled resources, tools. We did a webinar launch. We sold it for $19.97 and we did 144,000 on our first weekend, which was crazy.
With a Zoom crash.
With a Zoom crash in the middle. Yeah. The freaking webinar jam crashed. We had to redirect everybody to a news webinar. It was like
just the fact that people stuck through that.
Oh, it's crazy.
Is insane.
And then we did an offer, we sold, we were like, this is amazing. And then from there, we took that little chunk of money. We said, you guys are our founding group. Again, help us build this thing. So we kept building with them. And then every week we started doing weekly webinars. We heard from Mr. Russell Brunson. Love the dude. He was on stage a few weeks earlier at FHL telling us, he's like, I've never met someone who's done a weekly webinar, this concept for a year and not been very successful. And I spoke on stage with him last week and I brought that up on stage and he's like, dude, it's still true. Like I've never met anybody that's done this weekly webinar thing for a year and not been very successful.
Yeah.
And so we said, okay, we're going to do it. So we started ads. We do ads Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I would go live. Then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we'd follow up, close, and then we start again. And everyone wants to automate their webinar after 3 tries.
Yeah.
He's like, don't automate. Do a year and then automate. And so we didn't do quite a year. We did 38 weeks.
Straight though, which is insane.
I don't think we missed it. We might have skipped 4th of July, I think, that week, but we did it pretty much 38 weeks in a row. We hit $1 million in sales in about 5 months, 6 months. And then we did 2.5 million our first kind of 12 months of doing that, which is crazy, like absolutely crazy. And then we had clients now in, they were like loving it. They wanted more. They were helping us build it. We were bringing in coaches now. Like it took off literally from zero. We had positioned ourselves well. We had done some of the stuff we just talked about, and that model, the trial and error, it made me, every week we changed our pitch, by the way. We tried it, selling it at $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000. We tried different offers, different structure. We watched stick rates. Like we were methodical about why did certain people buy? Why did they not buy? What can we tweak for next week? We took notes, and it was just repetition. I was not skilled in this. I was not trained in webinars. Like I just read books. I watched YouTube stuff and I just tried it and then tried again and tried again. And we got better and better.
I love that. Going back to the starting the weekly webinars in 2020, and then we've done webinars together. We've done challenges together. We've done in-person, virtual. What have you seen change about one-to-many selling since 2020? Like what's working in 2025 right now? Like what's resonating with people? What are you seeing convert well when you're selling one-to-many?
Yeah, it's a good question. What we have seen, at least, much less BS. You've seen this. I've kind of thrown away a lot of the stuff previous people had taught me about webinars and speaking of like, make sure to pre-frame this way and then say this and do this little Chandler chunk and help this, and which is cool. There's like little things you can plug into a pitch and offer and stuff. But at the same time, people's BS meters are way high. And what we found is if you just dig into the meat of the content much faster, it builds much more rapport with an audience because you actually gave them real value. And I bet all of us have been on a webinar before that you hop on and you're like so excited to learn a thing, and the guy or the gal doesn't teach you anything for the first 40 minutes and then teaches you a little bit and then doesn't teach you and then doesn't teach and then says, well, you have to buy my thing to learn more. And you're like, man, that sucked. What we found was like truly, people always say, it was like, give value up front, like give a, like it's funny, even we did one last week, 3-day challenge. And the feedback again was like, no, we should have gotten the meat faster. Like we should have just dove right into the stuff faster. It attracts better clients. It attracts people who actually want to learn and engage. And yeah, lace in stories, lace in things like that. But, people, used to say like facts tell, stories sell. And that's still true to a good extent. But at the same time, you can get washed away in stories. And I think getting right to the meat of the bone and like, no, this is how it works. And I'm not scared to tell you. I'll just tell you everything. I literally, we've defaulted now. We give away most of our content for free. We now sell implementation. Because I think course content with, chat and other AI functions, people can go learn what they want to learn.
Yeah.
What we've kind of now pivoted to is more of, we're going to help you implement it. So we have a staff of 15, 20 people here that are going to help like work with you. We have 5 different law firms that are going to work with you. We have a pitch deck designer that's going to work with you. Like we have implementation that we sell. I'm going to give away the knowledge for free because knowledge is a dying, commodity.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. The way that the info business industry is going to look in 2 or 3 years, even now, it's like kind of scary for, I'm sure some course owners out there kind of shaking in their boots a little bit, but where it's headed, like if you just sell information online, it's going to be, pretty tough to sell when you can just go look it up on chat or whatever the other source is.
Yeah. Now there's still a place for it.
Yeah.
Can you do well? For sure. But I think where the puck is going is implementation and or using AI tools to your benefit. Just information on something, everything's on YouTube already. And so yes, you can consolidate. Yes, you can save someone time. But I think to really make an offer pop, it's implementation and it's getting people real results.
Yeah.
At the beginning of we were just like, hey, let's just sell this course to sell information. Now we really try to, let's sell actual results. Let's really fulfill. I think too many people that launch courses and or like they just want to sell something to sell. And where the real people separate themselves from the top 1% of course creators ever, which I think we would put ourselves in that category, actually implement.
Yeah.
And actually get results and actually have real testimonials of people like that actually crush it. Not they say they crush it, like actually do well, actually go and they play the long game. I think too many course people play the short game. We are in the business, like right now, Fun Launch, like our team, we are playing the long game. We want to get results with people now and we want to work with them for the next 20 to 30 years. Like I don't want to burn anybody. We give refunds pretty much to everybody. If someone asks for a refund, I mean, it depends on the nature of it, but we are pretty liberal with refunds. Like I want to have a good relationship, good brand that we are building. We want to really fulfill, really get results, really help them, really move the needle. And that's like the brand I want to have for our business because there's so many scammy courses out there.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the world is going because people's BS meters are so high.
Totally.
And over time, the people who do that game will win. They will, for every one person that does that, there's 1,000 people that didn't do that and are now out of business.
No, that totally makes sense. One thing I want to talk about is we talk about this inside of Event Horizon. It's the different type of buyers that you have in the room when you're selling. And a lot of, you can kind of categorize them as emotional buyers and logical buyers. I think emotional buyers have logical aspects and logical have emotional aspects as well. But obviously the way that you speak to those people changes when you're selling. How do you pitch and sell to emotional buyers versus logical buyers?
It's a good question. Generally speaking, I've seen emotional buyers obviously buy fast. So right when you drop the price, right when you do something, that triggers an emotional response. It always does. Even if I know it's coming, I still, whenever like price drops, there's like an emotional response that happens in someone's body. Like I love going to events. So emotional buyers, we've done stuff. We did this last year. I think we did the golden ticket offer.
Yeah.
We, on purpose, we went and bought, I think it was 100 rooms on a cruise, right? Is it 100?
Yeah.
100 rooms on a cruise. And we said, hey, we have in the back of the room these golden tickets. We had like people waving them in the back of the room. We said, we've already prepaid for 100 spots at a cruise. If you would like to come, stand up. You can head to the back of the room. You have to grab a ticket and then you can go check out in the back of the room. But it's first come, first serve. We only have 100 spots. And the emotional buyers in the room, like, yes, I'm there. Like, I'm going. That sounds cool. I'm going to be on a beach. I'm going to be on a cruise. Like, how cool is that? That triggers an emotional response from a buyer.
I remember people started running before you even dropped the price. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, free cruise. It was like people were sprinting to the
Yeah.
back of the room. It was hilarious.
And we dropped it in a good way. Like,
Yeah.
I think that offer was really good. We did a good
it was
job.
awesome.
So that we do that to like trigger an emotional response. A logical buyer almost will dig their heels in on like something like sometimes.
Yeah.
And everyone has a little bit of logic, a little bit of emotion in them, right? But they're like, no, I'm not going to do it because that sounds, And so a logical buyer, to be frank, I've seen a lot of different ways to sell logical buyers. And I don't know if I have like this one great way to do it. Myron Golden is someone that people look to as a very good logical, like a repitch the next day. And he'll walk through a lot of like math. It's still an emotional sale though. It always is. But he walks an emotional sale through in a logical format. And so for example, what we would do is, this is probably, I don't know if it's compliant or not. We didn't do it on our last one because we've really stepped up our compliance on how we sell. But one example of things you could do, well, actually, I don't know if we do this anymore. We did this before, and I don't think we'd do it again.
Let's hear it. We can cut it out if it's.
Anyways, what it was if you had a fund set up right now for the last 18, 24 months, how much more money would you have made? Just in your opinion. That's the question we asked. Remember this? And then we said, if you would have made $50,000 more, if you had a fund set up, raise your hand. And like the whole room raised their hand. And I said, keep raising your hand if you believe you would have made over $500,000 more if you had a fund set up over the last 18 months, 24 months. Like, keep your hands raised. And what I was trying to do is get micro engagements, right? You're trying to get someone and I was like, no, come on, like for real, I want to see the room. Like, and I kind of like turn the lights on. I want to see. And so people are like, okay, fine. I'm like, raise them high. Let's see it. And then I said, you know what? If you're raising your hand, please stand up. And so we got them to stand up, and it's like half the room is standing. I'm like, so everyone's standing right now. You're telling me you would have made $500,000 or more if you had a fund set up 2 years ago. Interesting. All right, stay standing if you believe you would have made $5 million or more if you had a fund set up. And like most of the rooms kept standing, which was pretty crazy actually.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, well, that's interesting. This is what you're telling me. I'm not telling you anything. You're just telling me this is what would have happened in your life if you had to set this up. So yesterday we had an offer. We talked about launching a fund. You've seen our team, what we've done. And you can tell I still have them standing.
Yeah.
Right. Cause I wanted them to move out of their seat a little bit. And I said, this offer is going away in 30 minutes. And I'm kind of hitting the fear, kind of the scare, because there's logical, emotional, and then scared, what do they call them? Fear-based buyers, because it's going away. Right. And so we said, hey, this offer is going away in 30 minutes. We're doing our welcome lunch. Like, if you want to be involved, you can head to the back. There's, flyers back. Actually, my team's going to hand them out. If you're standing, we'll hand you out a flyer and just let us know what you think.
Awesome.
And it was, low pressure. I'm not going to push them in anything, but it was much more appealing. And anyways, that's one way to do it. You logically walk them through how much money they're leaving on the table by not taking this opportunity. That'd be one example.
Totally. Yeah. Even though like maybe not that exact tactic anymore, but the strategy's still the same. You're still like walking them through like just logically how it makes sense for them to purchase. And some people just need more time too. I know there's a big philosophy around like fast action bonuses and like one call closes on one-to-one sales and stuff like that. But like some people just need time to like buy and think about it. And I think logical buyers, I think if you did the same emotional pitch on day 3 as you did day 2, like they would still probably buy just because they had the time to think about it and justify it and stuff.
And like I said, it's still a little bit emotional, right?
Yeah, 100%.
It always is, but you're walking them through numbers. So you'd say, okay, well, and now the reason I brought up compliance, because you don't want to ever say like, this is what you could do. But I like that one back to like, we're just asking them the question, what do you think you would have done?
Yeah.
Myron Golden loves this one. He goes, okay, write down on a piece of paper how much money you made last year. Okay. If you haven't made $1 million in a year yet, okay, write in $1 million at the top. And he writes out $1 million and he shares a story of how he made his first $1 million and how much he had to pay down ignorance debt. And he goes, okay, so let's say someone in this room, you're doing well. You made $250,000 last year. Okay. So you made $250,000. Write that on the page. And he does it on stage with them. So he writes $1 million, then he writes $250,000. And then he says that difference, $750,000, is what you paid last year because you didn't know how to make $1 million. And he frames at the beginning, I missed this part, but he frames at the beginning, what's your 2 biggest expenses? That's the close. So he goes, your second is taxes. What's your biggest expense? And everyone writes down this stuff. He goes, your biggest expense is ignorance, is not knowing how to make $1 million. It's all about knowledge. And then he shares a story of, it's funny how once people make $1 million in their life or 2 million or 5 million, they can make it again.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. Like you see these millionaires, they make tons of money, then they lose it all, and then they make it again. Why? Because they learned the lessons of how to make millions of dollars. And so he goes, if you made $250,000 last year, great. You paid life $750,000 because you don't know how to make $1 million.
Mm.
And it's an emotional way to appeal to someone's logic, right?
Yeah.
That's another example of a logical close that I've seen happen.
Yeah. What's funny is I got closed on that exact pitch.
Did you?
2 funnel hacking lives ago.
Dang.
He was just up there on stage. I was like, it makes sense. I mean, might as well go for it.
Yeah.
One thing I want to talk about is, so pitching and selling is obviously, like, the pitch is very important when it comes to, enrolling people into the program that you're selling. But obviously, like, the sell begins essentially when the event begins, even before the event begins.
I was about to just interrupt you. I'm like, yeah, the pitch is important.
Yeah.
But it's pretty much everything else around everything else.
Exactly. Yeah.
That makes the pitch good or bad. Because I've seen dozens, if not hundreds of pitches, and they're all different.
Yeah.
Some are remote, some are high energy, some are low energy, some are and a lot of them do well because of what's around the event. So anyways, keep going.
100%. Yeah. I wanted to kind of dig into how you structure your content and the way that you teach at your events to future pace and to instill belief in them, and also to essentially pre-sell your offer, and handle those vehicle internal and external objections with the content, where it's at the point where, like, they're not essentially aware of what's going on, but it's like setting everything up for the pitch. I want you to kind of dive into that.
We've tweaked on this a lot. You've been with us through all these events. So we've tweaked this a lot, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. Day one, I really want them to believe, obviously, in the vehicle. But furthermore, we talked about this a lot. I want them to feel day one of my event that it was worth the money.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to go to bed that night being like, man, I'm so happy I showed up to this thing. And we're talking in a 3-day structure. It could be whatever. But I want them literally day one to be like, dude, I could go home right now and that was worth the price of the ticket and the flight out here in the hotel. And I'm talking in-person events, but it could be virtual as well. How do I structure speakers day one that are like, oh my gosh, this is phenomenal? And we've moved a few speakers around to hopefully have that effect. And anyways, I don't know where my audience said. We have surveys that tell us that happened, which is good. Something else that we applied in our last 3-day challenge was what they call laser coaching. So day one, we did laser coaching, which means you pick someone out of the stage and you actually coach and help them one-on-one.
Like a hot seat.
Yeah, like a hot seat. Yeah. And what it does, it's back to like I had a great mentor talk about this, like the concept in the Bible of the lost sheep, the 1 and the 90 and 9. You leave the 99 to teach, to go help the 1.
Yeah.
And he goes, and it was in a business perspective, I love this. As a mentor, he was like, that works so well in business, because what happens when you go help the one who is the least among you, it signals to the other 99 that you would do the same for them. I thought that was so interesting and just such a cool principle of, like, if you have an employee that's struggling or somebody and you went and really ministered to them and helped them, number one, it's just a great thing to do. And number two, it signals to the rest of the 99 that you would also do the same for them. And you probably don't need to do it for the 99 because a lot of them aren't lost. They're good. They're fine. But it signals to them that you would do that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I think in context of an event, the same thing happens. So if you bring on just literally a random person and let's talk through your business. What's going on? What's holding you back? And number one, it's very dynamic. It's like, oh shoot, it breaks the fourth wall.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, he's actually talking to the audience here. And it really shows, oh man, if I had a chance to work with Bridger and he just helped this guy a ton. Oh, what a cool thing. Like, if I worked with Bridger, he could probably do the same for me. That's a very interesting, number one, I think it's just a cool thing to do at an event. But number two, back in concept of pitches, it really pre-frames a pitch where it's probably like, hey, come work with us closer. Work with me, my team, whoever it is, to help implement this thing. It's like, oh, I saw what he did day one. So day one, if someone comes to the event and they have an excellent experience, speakers were awesome. They got filled up with just goodness. And wow, I saw Bridger, or the main person, like expert coach someone and go to the 1 out of the 99. Like, wow, that's really darn cool. And then we can get into like the staff and the ambiance and the music and the energy and the vibe and everything of the event. But I think day one, that's huge. And then day two, if you're going to have like other people involved with your pitch, you probably want to put little, what they call, Chandler chunks or chunks in earlier that kind of pre-frame what's going to happen later, or like constraints that you're going to alleviate later. we talked about this high energy, low energy, you know, so we have a high energy speaker and then followed by a low energy speaker that's more technical, and then a higher energy speaker, then a low energy speaker, just keep the audience somewhat awake as they go through the day. So those are a few things that we've done.
Yeah, no, I love that. Is there a difference, at least for you, when you sell virtually versus in person? Do you change anything about the actual pitch itself?
Much harder. I like in person a lot. I love going in the audience. I love pointing. You've seen this. I love pointing people out or calling them, having stand up. It's just because it's way more dynamic. And actually, I don't know if people are listening to this. If you ever speak on stage, I would highly recommend always go in the audience. Even if you're a terrible speaker and you just walk out in the audience and like touch someone's shoulder, or, you know, I don't know, or like just it just makes your talk like you're already in the top 10% of speakers, just from the audience, like wakes up also, oh shoot, he's like right there, he's walking by me, like what is going on, like why is this person over here? So much more easier to grab engagement in person. So I like in person, but obviously in person is way harder to do. You fly out, get people there, it's just way more expensive. So virtual is great as well, but you're just talking to a screen, right? And so I try to bring the same energy. I try to pump myself up and I do all this stuff to like bring the same energy to a camera, which I don't know if I think we've gotten okay at. The other thing with, you know, virtual, it's much harder. The chat is right there and people can just comment whatever.
Yeah.
I've been thrown off a number of times because somebody chats something and then I'm reading them as I'm going, because I'm looking at the screen as I'm talking, and now we actually hide the chat because it's just, and then I pull it up sometimes, and there's certain things on chat or on virtual you can do that you can't do in person. But so sorry, that's a long answer to say both are different. Some nuances that we like on virtual. The nice thing is they all have an internet connection. They're all right there. They can all check out, but also they can all leave. And so I think in virtual, we found, at least in 2025, we have to be much more fast with our content. People's attention spans are shorter. They want to get right to the meat, like I talked about. So we try to get into the meat and go through concepts fast. And I want them to feel a little bit behind always. Like, not on purpose, but like I want to go at a fast enough pace that they're trying to catch up. They're like, oh, I just missed it. What was that again? Like, and I'm like, hey, I'm moving on. If you're not listening, you got to pay attention. Like if you're on your iPhone right now and you miss the next 20 seconds, you're going to be behind. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Instead
of the opposite, when someone's talking too slow and they're whatever, people will just get on their phone, computer. On virtual, people get distracted way easier. And so, and like in person, you can do things to bait engagement. You can clap, you can like stand up, you can yell, and it pulls the audience's attention. You crack a joke and everyone watches you. Yeah. They look up from their phones, but on virtual, you don't know. There's no direct feedback. You don't know what's going on. Yeah. And so that's one way that I've tried to, I just try to go fast, give them I try to give them a fire hose, and it's like, hey, if you want to continue this journey with us, you can, buy our thing.
I love that. I wanted to ask you about the actual, like the segment of teaching before the pitch, because we've played around with a lot of different stuff. We've done, firsthand stories where you walk through how you're applying everything that they just learned into your fund in real time. Yeah. We've done motivational speakers. We've done a lot of different stuff. Yeah. What have you seen perform the best right before a pitch, leading into the pitch?
It's a great question. I don't know if I have the best answer. You could probably answer this question too. We've tried, we tried like a heavy motivational. Generally speaking, what we've done at least is a high energy speaker that kind of gets your emotions riled up. And then I come on stage, I then teach something for 30 to 40 minutes, and then we close. Yeah. Right. And I'm talking in-person events. I guess we did it on virtual last week as well. We did the same thing. That pre-speaker pre-frames the audience in a huge way. We had Sean Whalen the first year, just hype energy. I think he turned off a lot of people too, because he's just a very polarizing figure. Year 2, we had Steve Larson. He's very polarizing. He did that book sale thing, which maybe helped, maybe hurt. I don't know. He did it's Steve's thing, which is awesome. He like fake sells a book from stage, and
people like sprint up there and grab it.
He's like, and then he's like, it's all fake. And anyways, it's very interesting. And I guess people want to probably hear the story. What he does, and give credit to Steve, because I think he came up with this, because it's hilarious. He's like, he starts talking about the story of his origin story, how he met this mentor that was in this like limousine that popped out, and like this guy gave him a book. And this book absolutely changed his life. And he's read the book like 50 times. And everything that he's built in his life came from this book. And the book is called like, business strategy and quantitative measuring or something like that. And he goes, this book is, crazy. And it helped me go launch and do all my cool stuff. And he goes, actually today I got something cool. So I called the author, the guy that popped out of the limousine. And he's agreed to like come out with us. He's going to fly out to Alaska. We're going to do a cool event in Alaska. And we've got 50 copies of the book today. So if you come buy a copy of the book, you get a free, you get to come out and hang with us. Like, and people start running to the stage and buying the book, right? And go on Amazon and whatever. And then he goes, all right, full stop, like everyone stop. And he really drums it up. I'm going faster. He really drums up.
It's like a 20-minute spiel.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
And then he goes, stop. He's like, guess what? I've never read this book before. That whole story is, it's kind of true. I met a mentor, but like, I've never read this book before. Why did you want to buy it? He goes, did I tell you about the contents of the book and what chapters were in it and why you should read it? No. He goes, I told you a story around the book and I showed you what it did for me. That's why he wanted to buy it. And he's trying to explain to them, like, too many people when they sell the features and they don't sell the vacation, right? And that's what he's trying to sell, right?
Yeah.
It ticks off a lot of people when he does that,
yeah.
because people are like, what, you just lied to me? Like, and he goes, I promise I'll never lie to you again, like on stage. But he's like, I wanted to paint a picture that a lot of you are selling from stage, or like you're selling the features, you're not selling the vacation, right?
Yeah.
It's a cool thing. At the same time, he did that right before I pitched.
Yeah, that was maybe not the best place.
Which I was like, dang, I don't know if that's a good idea, because now all of a sudden your audience doesn't trust whoever's on stage, because he just broke the trust, right? So, and I think that year we didn't sell as well. I think it hurt. I honestly think it hurt our sales.
Well, that's a great lesson in like what we just mentioned, the importance of everything leading up to the pitch. It's like it plays a huge role. And maybe I think that resonates more with like internet marketers as well than like emerging fund managers. So good lesson learned.
Anyways, it was fun. I like Steve. He's a cool dude. It was like, but right before the pitch, I was like, dang, we probably shouldn't have done that. Anyways, I digress. Third year, did Ben Hardy. Ben Hardy, I think, was the best.
Yeah, I agree.
He's a PhD. He talks about the psychology around goal setting and setting big goals and how that makes your brain shift and change from a PhD standpoint. So it's very logical, but also telling them like you should set big goals. So it was like a motivational speech in a very logical, non-motivational way. And it was amazing. Like that was like probably the best pre-frame I've ever seen from a pitch.
Yeah.
And he talks through like, you should set big goals because from a psychological standpoint, you do X and Y and Z and it makes you achieve them. And that's why people like, and he just walks through like, and you're sitting there like, yeah, I do need to set big goals. And then I come on stage right after and I'm like, hey, if you want to do a big goal, go start a fund, and like do our thing. And so like, yeah, I should do that. So, now, so that's like the pre-speaker, the pre-frame. Then I get up. So my presentation, this is the one. So during a 3-day event, generally speaking, what I have done, I've just tried to give lots of value. Like our last event, Fund Launch Live 3, we just did literally, it was so cool. We can walk through how we did it. We structured around all of our big frameworks. We followed each piece of the framework. It was like this big puzzle piece that we put together in the whole event.
It was awesome.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
We can walk through it if you guys like in a minute. My pre-pitch though, essentially the frame was, we can pull up the slides if we want, but it's like, this is how so all the stuff I've just taught you, this is how I applied it for what I was doing. Let me bring this together for you. And I'm going to show you for me, I'm going to show you for another group and another group. Does that sound cool if I give you guys 3 essentially case studies of how this works? And so what I do is I then take all the content they've learned from the previous sessions and I say, okay, remember you heard about this, you heard about this, you heard about this. Let's put those together now. We did this, we put it together here, we put it together here, and we got X result for our fund. Okay, let me show you Susan. And Susan, we helped her do X, Y, and Z, and she got this result. And then I'll share, a lot of times I'll pre-overcome it. So this is the one session where I do a little more like the traditional, was reading a book, like selling speech. So I'm going to walk through vehicle objections. I'm going to walk through internal objections and time, money, knowledge objections. And I'll actually put them on the screen. I'll say, well, some of you right now are saying that, well, Bridger, this is going to take too much time. Well, let's walk through that. How much time does it take? And hey, this is what it looks like. This is what this person, actually, I walked through the top 10 fund managers on earth. And that's like another question. Am I too young to start? Well, look at Ken Griffin. He started when he was 20 years old. Look at Ray Dalio. He started when he was 28 years old. Look at Warren Buffett. He started when he was 26 years old. These are guys that left firms and started their own business in their 20s. So do you need, one of the big objections, I need to go work on Wall Street for 20 years. I'm showing you I showed 7 individuals that are multi-billionaires today that are in the financial fund space. They didn't work on Wall Street for 20 years. In their mid-20s. A lot of them, some of them mid-30s, some of them mid-40s, and some of them mid-50s. I kind of showed the whole gambit. It doesn't matter where you're at. All of them, though, took the jump. They made the leap. And they entered in a new course path and they started going. And we really anchored in, at least our last Fun Launch Live, like they got in the game and they started compounding. 99% of Warren Buffett's net worth he made after retirement age of 65. Like that's a crazy stat in its own. Like 65 and after he made 99.9% of his wealth. He's just the epitome of compounding interest. I'm like, I don't care where you're at. We have time. If you can just get in the game, be honest, do good to people, and do this over a year, 5, 10, 20, look at where you can go. But it's compounding interest. You have to compound and you have to start somewhere. Let's start today, essentially is what I'm trying to say. So I'm pre-overcoming objections. I'm pulling in things from all the previous speeches, all to a point of, and then I will ask for the sale. Hey, is it okay? We've put together, and you always ask permission. Yeah. Hey, is it okay with you if I spend the next few minutes talking about something we've created to help you go out and apply this into your own life? Would that be all right? Can I get a yes? Cool. Let's dive in. This is our program called, ours is called Black Card. Let me walk you through Black Card. So that's kind of the pre-frame. Anything you want to double click on that or go deeper on?
No, that's perfect. I think that just sets up, I think it's time to take a look at the slides.
All right, let's pull them.
I'm ready to look at them.
All right, so I'll show up some slides.
Yeah, let's do it.
This is what we do. I don't know if this is perfect or not, but I'll just show you what we do. So I'm going to go Fun Launch Live. This is 2024. This is my presentation. Yeah. Okay. Now, I'm going to share a presentation I did last week, and so you'll probably see a lot of differences. So we can talk through those. So this is, I just briefly mentioned, we're walking through some objections. Actually, I'm just training a lot. I'm talking through syndications, and then I'm hitting, okay, what happens if I lose money? I'm hitting objections. Okay, Bridger, what if I go launch a fund and I lose money? And I go on the whiteboard. I spent 10 minutes doing that. I need to work on Wall Street for 20 pages. Let me walk through this. What did they do? So I'm walking through Warren Buffett, Ray Dalio. What did they do? They started at 26 years old. He started at 25. So I'm trying to overcome objections. Ken Griffin, that's his house he's building. It's $1 billion home. It's crazy. These guys are very successful. Kathy Wood, she started when she was older in life, but she had years to compound. Okay, I look at all these people. Compounding interest, we go quick through this, but I'm like, you still have time, okay? So we're framing here. We talk about Fun Launch partners. These are case studies now. This is what worked. So internal false beliefs. This is somebody in our group. They came last year to this event. They started their fund and bam, they spoke on stage yesterday and now they're doing all this cool stuff. Okay.
That's powerful.
Very powerful. Yeah. It's like they were in your shoes last year. They were just on stage. I'm just showing you what they did. I'm not guaranteeing you will do anything, but I'm just telling you, this is what these people did. They all got started and got in the game. I tell the story of how I got started in the game, compounding. This is referencing an earlier speaker. This is an interesting close right here. Money is faster than time. I've liked this one. You can pay for things faster than you can learn things to build them. For example, there's 2 things you do in business. You learn strategy and build teams. So this is the part where I'm doing more speaker stuff rather than most of the event though. I am just training. I'm literally just trying to train. This is the one area where I'm kind of doing more of the, what you would call polished sales stuff. So I'm look at Jeff Bezos. Okay. And I'm like, this, I make a joke here. This also proves money can buy you anything. So whatever life, we got nerdy Jeff Bezos to jacked Jeff Bezos here. But I'm like, hey, when they want to launch AWS, which is one of the most successful businesses to ever launch, does about $100 billion a year, which is crazy. Jeff Bezos didn't go learn how to do it all. He hired Andy Jassy and built a team. Okay. Elon Musk, when he wants to go to Mars, he doesn't go learn all the stuff. He hires Gwen Shotwell and they build a team at SpaceX. This is what the best people, they learn strategy and build teams. It's kind of like building a house. You don't go learn how to be a plumber and learn how to be an electrician. You have the plans and you go hire those people, right? So same thing's true with the funds. We talk about, this is previous frameworks we have about what we're doing. We then use this vernacular. This is a new framework called the fund waffle. They'd never heard this before. I'm like, this is called what I call the fund waffle. So you have your different team members and you start filling in your waffle. And we talk through these are the different team members you're going to put in over your time period. Now, if you were trying to be proficient in all these roles, how much time would it take you? And I put some hours on here, 1,000 hours, 150 hours, 80 hours, 26 hours. This is how much time you could spend. It would take you 11 years to be proficient at all of these, which is what some people do. And they don't know they're doing it, but they do it, right? Some people do this. Have you ever met somebody that gets a degree after degree after degree, and they were so scared to change the world that they just kept going to school? That was a quote that I heard from a guy. He had like 3 PhDs. And he finally realized, he's like, I was so scared of changing the world that I just kept learning. I'm like, I don't want you to just keep learning stuff. You came to an event to learn, like, that's great, but like, let's now go, like, let's actually make some things happen. Let's make action. So how much money would it take to hire someone proficient in each one of these? So I put in dollar amounts here. So I said, instead of being 11 years away from doing this, you're only $285,000 away. That feels a lot closer. Money is faster than time. We learn strategy and build teams, right? You can actually do this way faster. So anyways, I go up here. I'm like, everyone you need is already in this room. So I talk through another story, how they built a team. Anyways, I'm going to go fast through this. So do you want to work with our team in Black Card the next 12 months? Yeah, give me a yes. Cool. So we frame this up. This is the ultimate service to get your funder syndication launched. So I kind of walk through like the 3, we have 3 core pillars. We have advisors, network, and partnerships. So I kind of frame my pitch in 3 different pillars, right? So we launch these funds. I'm going to go really fast through this. 8-stage process, launch your fund. You get one-on-one coaching. To keep you have a dedicated account managers, group coaching. We train your team. You get the Fund Academy program. You get industry-specific courses that we've built out. You get this. This is a $5,000 product included. We're going to help build out your fund waffle with you. And then I kind of I use that framework and I said, okay, we're starting to check off pieces of this waffle. That's how we're going to help you. Okay, so the first thing, you get these alumni cohorts, etc. Okay. Big question here. Do we put a price tag on the stack?
Yeah, that's actually what I want to talk about.
We debated this heavily. I took it off. Previous years, 2022, 2023, I had a number over here like $27,000. And we'd stack that up and then you drop. I think, number one, the CFTC has said, if you're going to do that, you have to really substantiate those numbers.
Yeah.
Like, it's really got to be worth that. Like, someone would pay that. Not that it's the value. Someone actually would pay $27,000 for that.
Yeah.
And you could substantiate it. Number 2, I think audiences have, I don't know, it's been overdone a little bit.
Yeah.
It seems a little cheesy. So I've defaulted to not do it anymore. But anyways, everyone's different. Some people love it, some people don't. But I still stack it. I just don't stack it with numbers. Okay.
And we'll probably see later too that like a price anchoring is also very important when it comes to pitching. And you can still do that without stacking with the crazy like made up numbers on the side where it's like, oh, this is worth $150,000.
Yes.
But also, I do remember, I think Forrest, when he came in, actually went through and like every item of Black Card and like actually figured out how much it was worth.
Yes.
And it was still super impressive, which I thought was sick.
Which we did. Yeah. We actually, and I can't remember if it's this one or another pitch. We actually went through, we pitched that way and then I pitched without it and we tried both. And anyways, so I come through, this is the advisor piece. Network, you join the community, we do all these cool events, you get to join a cohort today with people. So we had cohorts, we have 6 different cohorts launching today. The first 10 people per cohort, so we put a constraint here, 60 people total. I'll go quick through here. You get, virtual and in-person networking in person. We're going to do an exotic style event. We have a workshop style event you get to come to and a Fund Launch Live event next year. You want to hear where we're going next? Drum roll, please. We're going on a cruise. We called it the Waffle Cruise. I talked about this earlier. This is awesome, man. I see you smiling.
It's so fun.
It was so funny to do the waffle. Like, we're going on the Waffle Cruise. Who wants to come? They have waffles on there. We're going to go like build out your waffle on the cruise. Okay, pay. And we said you got to pay for your cruise ticket. So again, a constraint we put on here. You have to pay. Okay. We're going to go to Salt Lake City. We're going to, build your network. And then we had here the next part. So I restack. That's what you get. Cool. Partnerships, the third piece, we're going to come through, we're going to build out all your partnerships with you and do all this cool stuff. Okay, I'm going fast through this. Before you get pitch deck design, it's beautiful. So again, at the same time, very valuable offer. You're going to get legal done for you. Typically legal is $30,000 to, $150,000. What if we included it? You get full legal setup. So we're actually going to pay for your legal docs for you with our lawyers. Great. It's all included. So we've now checked most of the fund waffle off here. Okay. So then we restack. Cool. Here's another testimonial of someone that did it. It takes an army of people to accomplish this. And I had my team actually come on stage. So we had 30 people come up. I'm like, yo, I want you to see the company behind us. Like, this isn't just me. This is a full team that you're hiring. If you join us today with Black Card, when you join us today with Black Card, right? The right vernacular. When you join us, you're getting this whole team behind you to help make you awesome. Okay. As a bonus when you come today. Okay. So I started going into bonuses. to show yourself to be for next year. When you join, you're going to come get a picture with us on stage. I want you to like visually put, share a story, come get a picture with us on stage. Great. Yesterday we talked about this. As a bonus, you get Fun Launch 360, a new software we just announced. It's all included. Great. If you're worried about which part of the path you're on, we can, we're going to give you an extra month for free. It's a 12-month program. We're going to give you 13 months. Great. You get a black card jacket. So today you're going to come, you're going to put on the jacket like you're part of, the group. Okay. Anyways, I'm still going. Oh, here we go. We added bonuses, values on bonuses, it looks like. So total value of the bonuses, here it is, okay? If we did this close, if all this did was get you your first deal, would it be worth it? Great. Today is only for the first 10 people per cohort, so 60 people total that want to do this, okay? So 10 people, it's going to go fast. And, I'm framing out who they are. Here's the cohorts again. So how it works, it's $30K for the first 12 months and then $883 ongoing. That's how this program works. As long as you're a member, you can use all the services, legal, pitch deck design, coaching, etc. Usually we make you start with 10 grand. So a lot of like it's 10 grand to start. But today we're going to do something special. So what we're going to do today is, because you're doing something, you get to join for $3,000 today. It's like, what? So price drop, right? Okay, $3,000 today as a bonus. So when you join today, when does Black Card start? It actually starts tomorrow. We're actually doing a VIP waffle lunch. We're going to Universal Studios. Like when you join tomorrow for $3 grand, you guys come in and I'm just anchoring $3 grand now. Okay. And I can't remember when I had them go to the back of the room. I think it was right here. Yeah, this is where it was. So no one moved yet. Like no one was moving. And I said, stay in your seats. Hold on. Okay. Remember how and I think these popped in. So I said, remember the waffle cruise? We're going to go in October. Well, we actually called ahead and we paid for 60 golden tickets to come to the cruise. So if you're one of the first 60 people, we actually prepaid for your cruise for you. In the back of the room right now, my team is waving. It's first come, first serve. If you want a free cruise ticket and you join today, you'll be able to come to the cruise. Okay, so if you're with me, stand up, go to the halls and head to the back of the room. So that was when our price drop and go to the back of the room. I said, look under your seat. So you can pull this out. That's what we did, actually. You're right. We put it under the seats. They pulled it out. And they could also run to the back of the room. But you have to get your ticket and then grab your thing, run to the back of the room with first 60 people.
By the way, I remember it spent probably an hour, maybe hour and a half, the entire team on the ground, sticking order forms under 2,500 chairs. Yeah. That was actually an absolute blast.
It's like a little surprise. People were and we were trying, how do we get the order forms in their hand? We just thought under the chair would work.
I do love how you've kind of been subtly price anchoring, this entire time. Like you mentioned 30K is the first number, then you say 10K, which that's already a good deal. So if I can get started for 10K today, it's awesome. And then 3K is it's subconsciously that's an amazing deal. Like most people pay 30 grand up front. I have to pay 3K today.
I want to say too, day one, we anchored 30 grand too.
Yeah.
We just told them hey, a lot of you're asking about Black Card because people in here are talking about Black Card. We have badges say Black Card's $30,000 if you guys want to join.
Yeah.
Just talk to a rep. And it's like a public price. We just know. And that's how we did that, because everyone knew what Black Card was. It's been 30 grand. It is 30 grand. So we'd anchor that day one. So they had a night to sleep on it.
Yeah.
And then today it's you can, join today for $3 grand. How cool is that? I'm going to bring in older stuff. Oh, look we added some, I don't know if we use this slide. I'm trying to think if this is an old or tweak slide. Anyways.
Yeah.
Bonuses, or maybe, anyways, it's funny because sometimes after
we didn't use it for that one.
I know after the event, sometimes I come and I tweak the slides for other things, but look at these ones have it. So anyways,
also look at the recording. I
can't remember. Yeah, I may have to watch the recording. I can't remember. So what else costs $3 grand a month? Well, you could hire one McDonald's employee for $3 grand a month. That's what you're paying. I was like, oh shoot, that's crazy. Okay. So $3 grand to get started. We anchored $3 grand. Come join today. Okay. So go to the back of the room. We talked a few things. I think these are just bonus slides I had here.
Yeah, a lot of social proof too.
And then just lots of social proof. So that's one offer. Did well. We had an incredible stage rush. We made, I don't remember the exact number, $2 million for this offer.
Around there. It was pretty.
So this made us $2 million, which is kind of crazy. And it wasn't even I'm looking at these slides. I'm like, these are horrible. It's so funny to watch. These are what? This is just a year ago. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we've gotten so much better in a year. So
one thing I do want to touch on right here. So I think you do this very naturally with the way that you teach. But one thing that we teach inside of our incubator is when somebody attends an event of yours, they're essentially taking a test drive of what it's like to work with you. And they're test driving your offer. A lot of the stuff that you see when you're pitching Black Card, it's you give them nuggets and you go as deep as you can in the event. But then when you position Black Card, it's okay, well, this is how you go way deeper and actually implement all this stuff.
Yeah.
How do you just walk me through how you think of offers and also how you think of the event content and how you make an offer seem like it's the only next step to take when they're trying to go deeper on that journey?
Good question. Ours is more simple in that because no one else does this.
Yeah.
We did that on purpose. We've positioned ourselves in a blue ocean.
Yeah.
We really don't have any competitors. No one else teaches this stuff. So it's like honestly, if you want to go learn this, like literally you can go to Harvard, Stanford, or Yale.
Yeah.
And now that's not true for, like, if you're selling a real estate course, there are hundreds of other real estate courses. And so you're in a red ocean, and maybe you want to pivot and tweak your offer, yourself and your offer to say, well, we're not in real estate. We're in this little sub-market of real estate and this little niche, right? Yeah. I would do that on purpose. So it helps. It makes it easier because it's like and that's why I'm so like, I'll just teach you everything.
Yeah.
Because I know how hard it is to implement. To launch a fund and raise tens of millions of dollars is extremely hard. And I tell people that all the time. I'm like, this is hard. You need people around you. You need a team. Other courses might not be that way. It might be like, oh, I could probably just go do this on my own. Yeah. So I don't have to do that as much. But anyways, we do. So my default is I'm going to teach you everything. And you can go do it on your own. But like, look at how much easier it would be and more consistent it would be if you just did it with us. And we've done 300 of these. And I run 2 funds right now, and we're actively raising money, and we're all talking and sharing and like helping one another do this. Do you think you would go faster or slower being with us or without us? Like probably way faster. Yeah. And you're telling me that you've left $1 million on the table last year because you didn't have a fund going? So speed matters. Okay. Like it's kind of like, yeah, our offer, like this makes sense. Yeah. You know,
what happens usually is like if they go to the events, and like the events are valuable. Like you can go as deep as you want at an event. Then they go and they try to apply it into like their business or their life, and like something happens. Yeah. They have a question, like their unique situation. They're like, how do I do this? Yeah. And if they don't have somebody to go to, like that's where the journey kind of stops, you know. But if they, ascend up into the program where they actually get the help, like that's kind of that natural ascension. So I think you do that really naturally with the way that you structure your events and the way that you teach. Mm-hmm. But it's like a very core foundational piece here of like, it's almost one of the only vehicles of acquisition, like acquiring clients, that you can actually give them a real-time test drive of like what it's like to work with like your brand, and like how you deliver value, other than just giving a free trial to like your
and that's why I hate, and I think people now today like hate the fluff. Yeah. It's like, dude, I spent money or I spent time with you on a webinar. I'm here and you didn't teach me much.
Yeah. Like it shows what it's going to be like when I
so when I join, are you going to teach me anything then?
Or get upsold to the next program?
Yeah. Is it always an endless upsell? Yeah. Or, oh shoot, I came for free, or I paid $10 and I got this much value. Imagine if I paid $2,000, how much value I'd get. Yeah. Like that's what you're trying to train someone in their brain. That's why day one is so important. Like, oh, I paid $400 to come to this event. Man, I got so much value day one. Imagine if I paid Bridger $30,000, what I would get. Yeah. Actually, Tony Robbins does this. When Tony Robbins pitches, I went and watched UPW. He just does value the whole time. And then the pitch is kind of like, hey, we just don't have enough time. Like, as you can tell, we have so much to share with you. Has this been life-changing? If you would like to come with us on the next stage of this and like do 6 or 7 days together at Date with Destiny or whatever it is, there's booths outside. You're welcome to go right now. You get a cool hat and a cool thing. It's not even that like sophisticated of an offer, but just because Tony Robbins is so good, you've gotten so much value, people buy. It's the better the value, the better the content, the better the product, the easy, like the less selling you have to do, hence the less scammy you look. Yeah. The best like sales guy on earth, you could argue, is like Elon Musk. With like, take Tesla. Tesla does like zero marketing, besides they do these events every once in a while. And it's like one of the best selling cars ever in history. Like
you see a Tesla and you're like, oh, I want that.
Like the product is so good. Yeah. And Elon's positioned it in a way like, this is futuristic, this is cool. Like anyway, so I think the same thing can apply here.
Yeah, totally. Let's jump into the one you just did, last week's pitch.
Yeah. So you guys will see now, this is a different product. This is a new product we just launched.
It's also a virtual event as well.
This is virtual, yeah. So a little bit different. You can see some similar slides here. Look at that. Just a little bit tweaked. So we taught a lot. I mean, we jammed a ton of concepts into this.
How long did you guys go each day, by the way?
I ended up going like 3 hours a day.
Yeah. I remember we would always block like 2 hours, and then it would be like 4.5 later.
Yeah. And usually it's like an hour and a half of teaching content. And then there's like Q&A and over drip and whatever. So it's not like but that's the total length of it. It's like that long if you wanted to stay on. We had Ben Hardy. We actually played his recording, which was cool, from our event to pre-frame the pitch. Like, just because I was like, that was a great pre-frame. So we played his pre-frame. We had these guests come on and talk, and we had Alexis Morgan come on. So we had 3 different guests talk about their experience, what happened with them, how they're building. We're talking frameworks. So we're talking all these different frameworks here.
And one thing I want to point out right there, which I think we've done really well for all of the events, like with Fun Launch, but we also talk about this inside of the incubator. Like if you have successful students, like put them on stage, like nothing shows that you have a good product better than being like, here are people that like worked with us. Like Russell does this amazing, all of his speakers like worked with him in some way.
Yeah.
Like they have that platform because of like the stuff that he taught them.
Yeah.
Like that's so incredibly powerful for social proof, like validating the offer, and also just kind of like displays like the transformation that can happen when somebody like takes that action to work with you. So
yes,
I just want to point that out.
And it shows, hey, if I join and do well, Bridger will put me on stage next year.
Yeah, 100%.
Like there's a path, because a lot of people aspire to be on stage or speak or be a business leader, and it's like, oh, that's cool. Like this person brings people on, and like, oh, if I do well in this thing, I will be on stage. Like it's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, totally.
We maybe we talk about this later. We are very heavy on frameworks as well.
Yeah.
And we can talk about frameworks in a minute if you'd like. It's helped me a ton just as a course creator or as an incubator creator. Like having frameworks is so crucial. So anyways, we teach all the frameworks. You can see kind of this pitch here. I actually use, look at that same slide. Yeah, same slide. We use a few other ones. So I'm like, hey, okay, you guys ready? And then hook to the end. Alexis is going to come on right after I talk about this new thing. So it's a little hook, like stay on.
Yeah.
Don't leave me. Furthermore, I think I gave away $100 here. We were giving away money through webinars just as reciprocity and or to keep the audience awake. So I'll say like, hey, you guys ready to hear the pitch? Like type yes in the chat. Everyone's typing yes. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to pick someone random. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We pick someone. Hey, you get $100. Send us an email. We'll send you an Amazon gift card or whatever. Number one, it gets people typing the word yes, which is like psychologically helps them be more, open to stuff and just wakes the audience up. And I'm like, hey, and after the pitch, I'm going to do another giveaway. So stay. Like, don't leave. I'm trying to give hooks. And I'm not saying that directly, but I'm kind of giving hooks like, hey, Alexis is coming on. I'm going to talk for a few minutes. Alexis is coming on right. You got to hear her story. And I'm going to do another giveaway right after as well. Okay. So I'm just, again, seeding stay. So single asset funds, you can see obviously our branding and stuff has gotten a lot better.
Oh yeah.
So how we framed this offer. So today I'm going to talk about this new thing called single asset funds. I'm like, what you don't need is another crappy online course and more information with no action. You can kind of say, I just talked about this earlier, right?
Yeah.
What you actually want to fund and close your deals in a compliant, honest way that you can build a track record. That's what you want. The problem with another course is the actual stuff you use is in your notes app. You want tangible outcomes. To achieve this, we had to go think from the ground up. We decided to build our own custom platform. It's a long time coming. So we designed around our fund launch formula. So introducing the fund launch platform. Here it is, single asset fund. So we actually did go build a full custom platform, full software. And we're actually building all these AI tools into it now. It's really cool. Anyways, this is pretty hype. So I walked through it right here. So here's the platform. You can kind of see it, how it builds your fund with you. You have video content. I'm like, the video content isn't even as important. Like that helps you, but you have AI tools on the right and you have a fund builder like that you build this. And by the way, we actually did build, this is not white labeled. We built this thing with our own programmers. Okay. Here's our AI assistant, like helping you get answers to questions. What we're doing like on the fund builder, they're actually inputting questions or their answers here and it's building their fund with them. So again, back to my thing of like, we're getting away from, courses. Yeah. This works for you, essentially what I'm saying here. It works for all these different asset classes here. And you get this whole incubator. The roadmap, phase 1, we're doing this. We have this private platform. Phase 2, we are launching this with Black Card members and 20 plus service providers. Phase 3, we have 2 amazing AI devs right now building out an AI fund builder. This should be actually, I don't know if you know this.
Yeah, Mason's been dropping some.
Dude, it's so sick. I'm so excited. We're going to have a full AI fund builder that syncs and builds your fund. So as you answer those questions, it like builds your pitch deck with you. It builds your design. It builds your legal docs. Like it'll actually go through. It's actually it's not like chat. it's like useful AI.
It's like doing tasks.
AI agents almost.
Yeah.
So, and then we're going to have an agent that goes and builds your marketing tools, integrates legal docs. Then it would potentially outbound and, source deals for you. So we're kind of pivoting to more of a,
this is insane.
Anyway, it's kind of fun. Yeah. So the everything platform for funds, right? So that's what we pitched in. Here's our stack. So it looks a little bit cleaner. Again, no numbers here. You get the fund launch platform. You get all these cool things. Okay. Oftentimes, I get stuck on one thing. Great. We're going to do group coaching. So we have group coaching calls. They're office hours, 4 days a week. Here they are. And you've met the coaches. They were live earlier. Oh, those same guys that were live earlier. Yeah. Guess what? You can work with them every day. Oh, that's so sick. Like, so we've pre-framed them to come on earlier that they can talk now. Yeah, okay. So you get consulting, community feature. Here's the community. So you can join the private community. Great. Excel formulas. We actually really did pay $10,000 for these Excel models. So you get advanced Excel models. You can plug and play into your own fund. So more tools, right? It's good. And by the way, when you're making an offer, we got a lot of help at the beginning. I was like, like even, I don't know if that sounds dumb or not, like Excel models, but it helps give your offer in a different way. It appeals to different people and different parts of their brain.
Yeah.
So like, yes, you have a course, maybe you have a software with it. Oh, we have Excel models. You're breaking things out of the course. You have a community feature that hits more of like, these are internal, external, or vehicle parts of your offer. This would be more an external part of the offer. Like, hey, that helps me like just figure out like nuts and bolts things. A workbook can help with that.
Totally.
A special event we're doing tomorrow. I don't know, whatever the thing is.
Yeah.
So
that is something I want to talk about. Maybe we do it at the end of this one, but you've created your fair share of offers in your time. I kind of want to dive into, with our remaining time, like what your frameworks and your philosophy and what you think goes into like creating like winning offers, like specifically for events, maybe we can finish this up and then you can kind of riff on that for a little
Let's
bit.
do it. I'll share I'll go fast through this. So we shared our software here and then I'll actually put this in frame of like the whole stack and how we model it. So legal docs together, they get their legal docs. That's cool. All through here, they get this whole portal. We have a lawyer that reviews all your stuff before you launch. Here's additional add-ons as well. Just again, like the plans, we're going to, help you build the house. Now, if you want to buy Black Card, this is what it costs. But since you're doing a single asset fund, it's a lot cheaper. It's 12 to 15 grand. But today, we're doing something special because it's the first group. So this is now reason to act now.
Yeah.
The first group, we're opening this up to 50 founding members. So again, a constraint, 50 members. This product is going to be $7,500. What? And again, red and then green. You always put your offer in green. For first 50 people that join as founding members. So here they are. As a bonus for founding members. So, hey, if you join today or when you join today, you're a founding member. You get an onboarding call right after. I need something timely. There's a reason to act now. Oh, there's an onboarding lunch we're doing just in a few minutes. Great. Number 2, as you join, we're actually, for our software, we can number who came in first, which we thought was kind of cool. So like if you're the first person to buy, literally you'll have number 1 forever. And it shows on your public platform. If you're number 5, you're gonna have number 5 forever.
That's pretty sweet.
And I'm like, in Black Card right now, we have 1,200 members. And like, how cool would it be if like you were like the number 3 member to ever join Black Card? Like, it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're someone that wants to get like on your card, a founding member card, like you got to like, so I'm like, hey, right now, if you're ready, I'm going to drop the link. So I'm teasing the link now. I'm going to drop the link in like 2 minutes. Get your card ready. If you want to be number 1, like get ready. Okay. And then how many of you guys can come to our office? We're going to throw an event here at our office next month. So come to, for people that join now, event June 12th, we're going to help you do this whole cool thing. Okay. So we added that in just for founding members. So bonus for founding members. Here's the bonuses they get. Okay. Payment plans. Here's Klarna and Affirm we added, which is kind of cool. You can get on these awesome payment plans for $7,500. These are real, offers that we got on test runs through it. Okay. Oh, and one last thing. Instead of doing just one deal, founding members get a second setup. So like, oh, how cool is that? So when you join today, you get not just 1, but 2 full legal setups for your single asset fund. Great. So bonus for founding members. You get all these cool things. Okay. Ready for the link. Okay. You guys ready? Who's going to be number 1? Who's going to be number 5? Okay. Let's see. You guys ready to go? Now, one last thing. Today we have this many people live. After this is done, this is one of my favorite closes. After this is done, we're going to send this out to 250,000 emails. After that is done, we're going to post this to 350,000 social media followers. We only have 50 spots between now and Monday. You're the first people to hear about this. You have priority.
Yeah, the scarcity is insane.
You guys ready for the link? So I'm teasing them again, like, get ready. It's about to drop. Okay, I'm like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom, there's the link. And then right then we drop it in the chat. Okay, right now, go open Chrome, Safari, fundlaunch.com/SAF. You could join for $7,500. And I speed up my tonality a lot right then. Okay, go quick. Like, I'm like, that's kind of what, okay, let's open up Chrome, Safari. I'll leave the link live here for a second. And then I'm talking through it. So again, you get the Fund Launch platform. I'm restacking again. And then I'm saying, okay, the link's live. You know what? Let's actually just go look at it. So then I'll go open it up and then I do time, money, knowledge closes.
Yeah.
Hey, how much time is it going to take? I just trickle through those.
I feel like it helps too for people to see like what it looks like too, like on the back end for those logical buyers where it's like, okay, like it's a real product. It looks good.
Yep. So yeah, let's go log in. I go log in. Actually, it looks beautiful. So I was like, oh, it's beautiful. It looks really nice. It's awesome. I can log in. Everything works. Actually, it really does. It's really cool. So we'd go do that. Bring them back. And then we did one like after, and then we started reading names off. Oh, Susan, you were first. Joe was second. We start reading off names. And I say, oh, and by the way, a bonus for founding members, you guys get $100 credit for the merch store. Now, if you're still on the fence, we're going to add in a 30-day. So I've already dropped price, but now I'm hitting the people that are on the fence. Okay, 30-day money back guarantee. This is like a win-win. Like all of you guys can join. Like this is today I don't need a yes or a no, I just need a maybe. I love that close. And then again, I restack the all the stuff because sometimes people their brain goes blank once you drop price. So you got to resell them now. They got to get resold again on all these things. The bonuses, this is what you're getting. Great. And then I'm going to put a timer on the screen. I think it's, let's see, there it is. And then we left this up for about 10 minutes and they said, hey, if you're still on the fence, I got a team here that can book a call. So we actually booked, I think we booked like 27 calls, something like that from this. So there you go.
That's fire, dude. I like that a
So
lot.
we can double click on whatever. What do you think?
Yeah. I just kind of, it might be tough to address, but like we walked through just 2 amazing offers.
Yeah. Like how do we frame those offers
Yeah.
out?
How do you create offers for events?
All right. I'm going to give credit where credit's due. All right. I'm going to give credit to Mr. Steve Larson.
Yeah.
Steve Larson, we've told you this before, I think, the Xavier model.
Yeah.
You taught that before?
No.
Anyways, it's funny. We learned this like years ago, like 2018, 2017, and it's just stuck with me. And I use it for like all my offers. All right. The Xavier model might be cheesy, might not, but I like it. Okay. I like this is how you build a stack. Okay. So you can see in here, these are all acronyms. What's kind of cool in the middle is vehicle, internal, external.
There it is at the core.
At the core. So you're going to put something in your offer here that's vehicle driven, something that's internal, and something that's external driven. R is reason to act now. X is like you call it just the core, of the offer. A lot of times is the acronym of what they actually want, or like tools and software.
Yeah,
it hits really well.
You said it's more implementation. Could you put that?
Yes, that could be implementation. Yeah. So if you look at an offer, like back to the offer we had here, they probably can't see it now, but it's sharing here. But like we had the fund launch platform, like just this is the core offer, right? Yeah. Like this is what we are selling, like the platform, or we put these kind of 2 together, was platform and the software with it.
Yeah.
Because we were selling a software with some people, like on last year's pitch, it was more like, hey, this is like come and like we're gonna help the advisors are gonna coach you on this thing, coaching. Oh, and what you actually, will help you a lot is like all the implementation with it, like the software. If I look at this offer here, advisors, alumni, and cohorts, okay? One-on-one calls with coach. Again, this is the X and the A, okay? Daily office hours, Fun Academy course. Now, we could label some of these as well. So if I like label these, a one-on-one call with a coach and personal account manager, if we're just doing vehicle, internal, external, that would probably solve more of a internal, I would say. Like you're getting help personally. Like, does this work for me?
Yeah.
Daily office hours to get questions answered. Maybe that would be internal. Probably internal. Academy course might be vehicle. Like this is the vehicle. We're going to train you on the vehicle, right? Network events and tribe. You see private Slack channel. That's internal. Like you're working with, like, does this work for me? I'm going to work with other people. 3 in-person events a year, probably internal. So all this middle is internal. So I'm kind of going vehicle was more at the top. Advisors, alumni, cohorts, more vehicle stuff, more internal. Cohort to work with other people. So it's all internal. Like that's, so again, vehicle is, does this work? Internal, does this work for me? External, time, money, knowledge. And then reason to act now. So partnership, legal, that's external. Like I need the legal docs to do this. Yeah, that's an external thing that you need. Yeah. You need accounting. You need to build out, and we don't have everything stacked here, but you need help with that. So that would be that piece. And then if I go back to this offer, the reason to act now was the golden tickets to come and go to the cruise. So if I go back to here, so vehicle, again, does this work? Does this work for me as internal? That would be like community coaching helps in here, or like office hours, other stuff. You use Slack or chat people. External, for us, that's like legal. Like legal setup, tax review, stuff like that. Reason to act now. On the one offer you just saw was you're a founding member, the card, it's going to go away. And then the other one was the waffle cruise. So this is how I build offers. Yeah, what they want, what they actually want, more like softwares, then vehicle things, internal, external things. And then usually I kind of do price drop here after external. And then reason to act now is like in the bonuses. So, and sometimes you got a couple. There's like, hey, first reason to act now, you get to come to the cruise. Second reason to act now, you get a cool jacket. Third reason to act now, it's going away. There's only spots for 60 people. And then I'll sometimes pull away constraints. So on the bonuses, like I'll say up here on the software, you get 6 months of the software included. And I anchor that's part of the offer. And then you know what? At the end I go, as a bonus, if you join today, instead of doing 6 months, you get, lifetime access. And it's like, what? So I'm putting constraints on my own offer that I then alleviate later in the bonuses as a reason to act now. It's one good way to do reason to act now.
Gotcha.
Anything you want to double click on?
Well, that's perfect. I love that. That's a nice, like, pretty simple framework to start, at least to start building an offer. No, I love that. What's cool is I think you guys, like, Steve was the one that kind of got you guys into this world, right? You went to an event and he pitched at the event and you guys joined his program, which is it's kind of like a full circle moment.
No, it really is. Like, I love giving credit. I'll give credit to Steve Larson a ton. We joined his thing in like 2018. We were in college, like on credit cards. We were like, let's learn this thing. And then 2 years later, we launched Fund Launch. Like, it took us a long time to figure out the game.
Yeah.
This is one thing he really taught us, and it just stuck with me forever. And I put most of my offers together in some way, shape, or form like this.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Last question I have for you. I know it's been a pretty good interview so far. We talk a lot about acquisition events. So we label like these front end events, whether it's a challenge, webinar, workshop, in-person event. Those are acquisition events to enroll clients into the business. We also talk a lot about fulfillment events and the importance that those play in, one, giving you more leverage to sell, but also like fulfillment. Like, we kind of had this conversation where people want implementation. And in my opinion, the best way to help people implement is through in-person events or virtual events on the back end of the business. Can you speak a little bit as like the founder of Fund Launch, how fulfillment events have like played a role in your ability to scale the business, and the value you're able to deliver to your clients, and just like the role that they have played, even though you're not directly pitching anything at them, how much value they have presented?
Yeah, it's funny. So now this year we'll do 4 fulfillment events.
Yeah.
I think last year we did 3. We're doing one next month, and you're helping us plan it, which is awesome. So I don't know. I just default to the fulfillment event. Like, I'm here to fulfill.
Yeah.
Let's move the needle for you. Let's get you real results. I want people who are raving fans of our thing, and they're gonna. The more I've been in business, the more I've realized the value of word of mouth marketing. As much as we spend I don't know, $1 million to $2 million a year on ads.
Yeah.
That's great. But like, word of mouth marketing, if someone comes to like, hey, Andy, how was it working with Bridger? It was good. Okay, it was good. But like, if they're like, no, it was freaking awesome. I just flew out to this thing. Like, they helped me so much. That little difference is hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And if someone can join our thing and have an experience of like, no, dude, you got to go check. Like, I know whatever you think about this type of world, like, you got to go check these guys out. They are legit. If we can, like, they are awesome. It was worth every penny. Like, if someone literally can tell their brother-in-law, their cousin, their friend, like that, word of mouth, like, it's huge. And so fulfillment events have helped a lot with that. We get everyone together. It puts our community together. It gets our coaches all in the same room. And we really try, we just did one last month in Dallas. We really try to just move the needle for them and go deeper, answer questions, like, and really help them connect, meet one another, do things in person that you really can't do in virtual land. I've been to a few fulfillment events where people waste time, or they do stuff that could have been done virtually.
Yeah.
It really bugs me. If you're in person, let's do stuff that only you can do in person. So let's meet each other. Let's do different networking things. Let's do like round table discussions. Let's do stuff that, like, because you can immerse and be all together. And so that someone leaves and go, wow, that was so worth the money. I'm so happy. I was worth every penny. We've seen a lot of success with that. Furthermore, I don't know if we would have done it, to be frank, if we weren't selling high ticket things. So we were selling something for $30,000, $40,000. Generally speaking, most people expect an in-person something.
Yeah. And
so that's why we started doing it. And it also, frankly, just helped upfront sales. So it helped sales a ton, because it was like, hey, we have an event next month. You have to join now.
Yeah.
Because the event is coming up. And then people come to the event. It's like, oh, this is a good reason I've joined. And so we've now just said, yeah, events have been good. It's part of the offer. Let's keep them going. We don't upsell really at our events. We kind of talk about new things we're doing, but, so it's been huge for us. The last thing I'll share, it's been huge for my internal team. Everything we do is in virtual land, but then we go to an event and you meet real customers. And for me too, like, I get to shake hands with real people, and I'm like, oh, these are like real humans. They're like, sometimes you just, we work with so many people. There's so many online, there's ads, like, you just kind of get in virtual land a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, these are like people, like, and let's talk and let's like create a relationship together and let's like work together. And it's been big for our brand, big for our community, helped our community stick, I think, well together. So that's that's kind of what I'd share.
Yeah, I love that. No, I think it's spot on too. We for our clients that are kind of in the lower ticket range, like low ticket, compared to 30 grand, talking like, 5 to 10 grand offers. We're seeing like virtual implementation events also work really well, where it's
Yeah.
like the whole idea of it is just to like do as much as you can, like grab their hand and like actually like take them through the process of implementation. And I think events in some way or another, at least like from our experience at Fun Launch, and like what we're starting to test around with and play around with in the market has been like, I think that like you said, the puck is heading somewhere, and it's like implementation or what people are looking for. And at least we've seen that events on the front end and the back end are ideally where the puck or where are gonna still be there where the puck goes, you could say.
Yeah, it's hard to replace being in person with people. It's also hard. It's hard though. It's hard to do an in-person event.
Yeah.
It takes time. It takes money. It takes whatever.
Totally.
That's why you guys help a ton.
Yeah.
But when you get people there and you can really deliver on them, it's super worth it. It's funny. I was on a call with Alex Hormozy. This is years ago, and this is just something to note because we were looking at doing an event. He's like, I would never do an event. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, we did one event. It was a fulfillment event. They spent like $1.2 million on it.
Yeah. Which is crazy for a fulfillment event.
I know, which is like stupid.
Yeah.
And then he's like, we went all out. And then they were running, this is gym launch. They were running a subscription program. And he's like, the next month was our biggest cancellation rate.
Yeah.
And I was like, why? And he's like, well, everyone came and was like, oh, I got so much value. I don't need to keep paying your subscription. And he's like, that was the last time we ever did it. We now are done with them. And I thought it was so interesting. And what's funny now is Alex does now, if you go to his office, he's now doing events at his office.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good note. We've seen a little bit of that on some, and we tweaked our offer to make sure that didn't happen.
Yeah.
But we saw sometimes people, if you're on a subscription or a monthly, people come, like they'll gamify. If you have 3 events a year, they'll kind of gamify. They'll join, then unjoin, then rejoin. So you have to make sure there's gates and stuff that's set up doesn't incentivize that to happen.
Totally.
So, there's some caution to make sure you do it the right way. I wouldn't overspend $1.2 million on a fulfillment event.
Yeah.
Especially when
you started doing like your free fun Fridays, and like, those are essentially free aside from maybe some
$500 to
some
throw
TVs and stuff.
Yeah.
Like you can be, and we spend I'd say in the events world like pretty little on a lot of those workshops, like the Dallas one, the one that's at Snowboard come up in June. But we've also spent for Fun Launch Live like a ton of money on events, and then you're doing free in person now, or like $500 in person. So the range of how much you can spend, like that doesn't really determine like the success or the purpose of the event, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, 100%. I will say though, and then it's funny when selling different things. We've found, under $2,000 to $3,000 you can sell in a webinar.
Mm-hmm.
Above 3,000, like so 3 to 15,000, maybe 5 to 15, they typically need to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Could be something quick, but they need to talk to a human. 15,000 and above, we've seen generally people need to meet. They need to shake your hand. If they're going to spend 30 grand, now we sell a lot of people over the phone for whatever price, but like it's much easier if someone can shake your hand. And so if you're selling high ticket, which is, I would call it above $15,000, I would tell people and we're doing this now, like you have to meet people.
Yeah.
You have to shake hands, or someone on your team's got to shake their hand or something. That's why events are a great way to bring people together. So depending on which part of the funnel you're at, events are almost crucial. There's always outliers, but generally speaking, people want to shake your hand and spend time with you before they spend $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 on something.
Totally. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, sweet, man. I know we're 11:10 right now. I want to make sure you get to your event, but guys, that was Bridger Pennington. I don't know if this would ever overlap, but if you ever want to launch an investment fund, funlaunch.com is the place to go. Best in the game for it. But dude, thank you so much, man. This is
so funny.
Probably one of the best interviews I've done, and I'm excited to see like what it does for the people inside of the incubator. I think selling one to many it's difficult, but I think you've shown that just through repetition and like actually committing to the game, you can become good at one to many selling, and it can actually transform your business. So I'm excited to see what this does for the people in our incubator.
That's cool. Well, Andy Monroe's legit. He's done 3 Fun Launch Lives with us. I don't know how many events, 10 events, something like that. So we've spent millions of dollars with you guys through you guys. So, and you've done a great job. So, I mean, these guys know what they're doing. We've done a lot of events with y'all, and we've done big events, small events, free events, like whatever. And you guys have done a really, really excellent job. So good job.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
Hey, good stuff, dude.